The Democratic Party's failure to deliver progressive policy victories, despite successive political victories, is a reason why we should not vote for them into office again. To truly reinvigorate the progressive movement in politics, how about we actually vote for real progressives? That's why I endorse the Green Party. First, to respond to your social arguments. The Green Party has been consistently ahead of the Democrats on social issues. While it's nice that the Democrats now mostly support gay marriage, let's not forget that it was Bill Clinton, a Democrat, who enacted Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And it is Obama, the Democratic nominee for president, who continues to refuse to endorse same-sex marriage. In contrast, the Green Party supported it for almost 20 years, and will continue to support it. Furthermore, they support the recognition of equal rights of persons gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender to housing, jobs, civil marriage, medical benefits, child custody, and all areas of life provided to all their citizens. If social progress matters, the Green Party has always been and continues to be the better choice. Next, on economic liberty, again, the Green Party has fought more consistently against corporate control. On healthcare, you admit Obama's legislation was imperfect, but the Green Party stood for and endorsed a single-payer system that WHO reports has produced vastly better health outcomes for more people at a lower cost. On equality of wages, the Green Party supports the Equal Rights Amendment, which enshrines in our Constitution the gender equality you support. On stimulus, the Green Party is one of the first to point out, as Obama's own economic advisors Larry Summers and Christina Romer noted, the internal economic documents from the Treasury Department indicate we needed a stimulus of at least $2 trillion. Instead, we received an $800 billion package larded with inefficient tax cuts to the wealthy. On your core issues of social progress and economic freedom, the Democratic Party is an inferior choice to the Green Party. Now let's talk about some independent reasons to choose the Green Party. When the Democratic Party platform refuses to take a stance on marijuana laws, if the Obama administration continues to authorize raids on medical marijuana clinics, the Green Party has fully endorsed the legalization of marijuana. The war on drugs has failed. Despite over $7 billion annually spent towards arresting and prosecuting nearly 800,000 people across the country for marijuana offenses in 2005, according to the FBI's Uniform Crime Reports, the federally funded monitoring survey reports about 85% of high school seniors find marijuana easy to obtain. That figure has remained virtually unchanged since 1975, never dropping below 82.7% in 3 decades of national surveys. Furthermore, legalizing marijuana would have tremendous benefits. A 2008 study by Harvard economist Jeffrey Miron has estimated that legalizing drugs would inject $76.8 billion a year into the United States economy, and $44.1 billion would come from law enforcement savings, at least $32.7 billion from tax revenue. Furthermore, ending marijuana laws would reverse significant racial discrimination. African American marijuana users made up 35% of drug arrests, 55% of convictions, and 74% of people sent to prison for drug possession crime. Nationwide, African Americans were sent to state prisons for marijuana offenses 13 times more often than other races, even though they only supposedly comprised 13% of regular marijuana users. When 3 million people voted in a CBS online town hall to ask President Obama to reverse marijuana policy in the United States, his only response was to brush it off with a joke. Only the Green Party is a serious solution to this serious problem. Next, on the environment, the Green Party has been consistently ahead of the Democrats. While the International Panel on Climate Change argues that without serious CO2 reductions by the United States by 2020, the world will reach a point of no return on climate change. Despite these dire warnings, the Democratic Party has backed a massive expansion in offshore drilling, endorsed hydraulic fracking, despite the dramatic release of methane into the atmosphere, which is 8 times as bad for CO2 as bad as CO2 for the environment. And it's failed to enact any cap-and-trade or carbon tax legislation, refused to back the EPA's ozone regulations, and continues to support mandates for corn ethanol, which uses more energy to produce than it generates and continues to be a massive boondoggle for the environment. Our own NASA scientists indicate that climate change could result in huge droughts, gigantic floods, horrifying heat waves, and if not stopped, ultimately, existential risk for the entire human race. Look, at the end of the day, you have a choice between the fake progressives that you yourself indict and say have been moving to the right, or the real progressives who stood for real progressive change for their entire existence. I think the choice is pretty clear, which is why I fully endorse the Green Party over the Democratic Party for the presidency and as the best party for the United States.